Do you want to learn English fast but don't know where to start? Let me tell you something. It's not about being perfect. It's about being passionate, consistent, and fearless. Jack Ma once said, "Don't give up. Today is hard, tomorrow will be worse, but the day after tomorrow will be sunshine." In this video, I'll share how you can learn English quickly and confidently using his powerful principles. Learning English fast begins with the right mindset, and the most powerful foundation is passion, not perfection. Many learners make the mistake of believing that they must first master grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary before they can speak confidently. This belief holds them back because it creates fear, the fear of making mistakes. But in truth, the fastest learners are not the ones who avoid errors. They are the ones who are excited to learn and not afraid to look silly while doing it. Passion gives you energy to keep going even when progress feels slow. When you are genuinely interested in English, when you enjoy the sound of it, the stories, the movies, the people who speak it, learning becomes natural and enjoyable, not a stressful task. Think about children learning their first language. They do not care about grammar or perfect pronunciation. They learn because they are curious and because communication excites them. The same approach works for learning English. If you approach it with joy and curiosity, your brain will absorb it faster. Passion makes you persistent, and persistence is the real secret to fast learning. When you love what you are doing, you do not need someone to push you, you push yourself. You start listening to English songs not just to study, but because you like how they sound. You start watching English shows because they make you laugh or inspire you. That emotional connection creates stronger memories and helps the language become a part of your life. Jack Ma once said that confidence is more important than knowledge. You can have all the vocabulary in the world, but if you are afraid to speak, you will never truly learn. Passion builds confidence. When you are passionate, you stop worrying about being perfect. You care more about expressing yourself and connecting with people. And when you communicate with that genuine energy, people respond positively, they listen, they encourage you, and your confidence grows even more. Every small success, like understanding a sentence or making someone understand you, fuels your motivation. Perfection, on the other hand, slows you down. If you wait until you can speak perfectly, you will never start. You will keep correcting yourself, judging yourself, and comparing yourself to others. This negative cycle creates frustration and makes you give up. But when you focus on passion, mistakes become a part of your learning journey. You begin to laugh at your errors, learn from them, and move forward. Each mistake becomes a teacher instead of a punishment. The truth is that language learning is emotional, not just intellectual. If your heart is in it, your mind follows faster. So, if you truly want to learn English quickly, stop chasing perfection and start chasing enthusiasm. Find topics you love, people you enjoy talking to, and content that excites you. Enjoy every step of the process. When you do, English will no longer be just a subject. It will become a living part of your daily life, and fluency will come naturally. Consistency is the real secret behind learning English fast. Many people start learning with excitement but lose motivation after a few weeks because they expect instant results. The truth is, learning any language takes time. But it doesn't have to feel difficult if you practice a little every day. Practicing daily builds habits, and habits create mastery. You don't need to study for hours. Even 15 to 30 minutes of focused practice every day can make a huge difference over time. It's not about how much you study in one day, it's about how regularly you keep coming back to it. When you make English a part of your daily routine, your brain starts to get used to it, and learning becomes automatic. Daily practice helps you stay connected with the language. If you take long breaks, you start to forget what you learned before. But when you practice consistently, your brain keeps the information fresh. It's like exercising your muscles. If you work out a little every day, you get stronger. If you stop for too long, you lose progress. The same rule applies to your English skills. The more you expose yourself to the language daily, reading, listening, speaking, or writing, the more natural it becomes. It stops feeling like something foreign and starts to feel familiar. The best part about daily practice is that it doesn't have to be boring. You can mix different methods to make it enjoyable. Listen to English podcasts while walking, watch short videos or shows, read interesting articles or posts online, and speak with friends or even to yourself in English. You can record your voice, describe your day, or talk about your goals. Every small action counts. When you practice every day, you are not just learning new words, you are training your brain to think in English. Over time, you'll notice that sentences come to you more easily and that you understand things faster. Jack Ma often emphasizes the power of consistency in any skill. He says success is not about talent, but about persistence. The same applies to learning English. You don't have to be a genius to master it. You just have to keep showing up. Even on days when you feel tired or busy, doing something small keeps your momentum alive. For example, if you don't have time to study, just listen to one song in English or watch a 2-minute video. The key is to keep your brain in touch with the language every single day. Practicing daily also helps you overcome fear and hesitation. The more often you use English, the less nervous you become. It starts to feel natural, like a part of who you are. Over time, your confidence grows, your pronunciation improves, and your vocabulary expands without you even realizing it. Daily exposure turns English from a subject into a lifestyle. It becomes part of how you think, speak, and see the world. And when that happens, learning English no longer feels like a task. It becomes an effortless habit that leads you to fluency faster than you ever imagined. One of the fastest ways to learn English is by surrounding yourself with real people and real content instead of limiting yourself to textbooks and grammar exercises. While grammar and vocabulary are important, they are not enough to make you fluent. Real fluency comes from real-life exposure, listening to how people actually speak, watching how they express emotions, and understanding how words are used in everyday situations. This is why learning from real people and media is so powerful. It helps you experience English as a living language, not just as a school subject. When you watch English movies, TV shows, or YouTube videos, you get to hear natural conversations, expressions, and accents. You begin to notice how people use tone, body language, and even humor. These are things you can never fully learn from a textbook. For example, phrases like "what's up" or "take it easy" may not sound important in lessons, but they are common in real life. Watching real English content helps you pick up these small details automatically. It also improves your listening skills because you get used to different accents and speeds of speech. Over time, you'll find that you can understand native speakers much more easily, even when they speak fast. Talking to real people is even more effective. When you have conversations with native speakers or fluent learners, you are forced to use English naturally. You have to think on the spot, find words quickly, and express your thoughts clearly. This is the best kind of practice because it trains your brain to respond in English without translating from your native language. If you don't have access to native speakers around you, the internet makes it easy to connect with people through language exchange apps, online communities, or even social media. You can join discussion groups, comment on videos, or chat with friends in English. Every small interaction helps you get more comfortable using the language in real situations. Another benefit of learning through real media is that it keeps you motivated. You can choose content that matches your interests: movies, music, sports, technology, fashion, or anything you enjoy. When you learn from topics you love, it doesn't feel like studying. It feels like fun. For instance, if you love movies, you can watch them with subtitles first, then without them, repeating dialogues and mimicking pronunciation. If you enjoy music, learn the lyrics of your favorite songs and sing along. These enjoyable activities help you remember new words easily and use them naturally later. Jack Ma once said that learning should never be boring. The same applies to English. The more you engage with real people and real media, the faster you improve. You start to think in English, speak more confidently, and understand the language in its natural flow. Textbooks can teach you the rules, but life teaches you the rhythm. So, instead of studying English only from books, live it, listen, watch, speak, and connect. That's how you truly learn English fast. One of the biggest barriers to learning English quickly is the fear of making mistakes. Many learners hesitate to speak or write because they worry about being judged or misunderstood. But the truth is, mistakes are not signs of failure, they are signs of progress. Every time you make an error, you are learning something new. The people who learn English the fastest are the ones who are not afraid to make mistakes and use them as opportunities to improve. When you stop fearing mistakes, you free yourself to practice more, speak more, and learn faster. Jack Ma often says that confidence is more important than skill in the beginning. If you wait until you are perfect before speaking English, you will never start. Language learning is not about memorizing everything before using it. It's about using it first and improving through experience. Think about how children learn their first language. They make countless mistakes. They pronounce words incorrectly, mix up tenses, and use funny sentences. Yet they keep talking, and that's why they improve so quickly. Adults, on the other hand, often overthink and stop themselves from speaking. This fear of imperfection slows progress. When you make mistakes, you get valuable feedback. Maybe someone corrects your pronunciation, or you realize you used the wrong word. That moment of correction makes you remember the right way more effectively than if you had just read it in a book. Mistakes make learning active. They engage your brain emotionally, which helps you retain information better. The more you interact with English, the more natural it becomes, and your mistakes slowly disappear on their own. It's also important to understand that native speakers make mistakes too. Even people who speak English as their first language forget grammar rules, mispronounce words, or use slang incorrectly sometimes. The difference is that they don't let it stop them from communicating. You should do the same. The goal of learning English is to communicate ideas, not to be perfect. As long as people can understand you, you are succeeding. With time, your accuracy will improve naturally. Another reason to embrace mistakes is that they build confidence. When you speak despite your errors and still manage to express yourself, you realize that English is not as scary as it seems. Each conversation gives you more courage for the next one. Eventually, your fear turns into excitement. You start enjoying the process instead of worrying about what could go wrong. This positive attitude attracts more opportunities to practice and learn. Mistakes are your teachers. They show you exactly where you need to grow. So instead of feeling embarrassed, be grateful for them. Laugh at them, learn from them, and move on. The more mistakes you make, the faster you learn. Jack Ma often says that failure is the foundation of success, and the same applies to English. Don't be afraid to sound imperfect. Be brave, speak often, and remember that every mistake is a step toward fluency. Thinking in English is one of the most powerful steps toward fluency. Many learners translate every word from their native language before speaking, which slows down their communication and makes English feel complicated. When you think in English, you remove that extra step of translation. Your brain begins to connect directly with the language, allowing you to express yourself naturally and quickly. This change doesn't happen overnight, but with daily effort, it transforms the way you learn and use English. It's the difference between memorizing a language and actually living it. When you translate from your mother tongue, your brain has to work twice first to form a thought in your native language, then to find the English words for it. This makes you pause, hesitate, and sometimes lose confidence while speaking. But if you train yourself to think directly in English, your speech becomes smoother. You start forming sentences automatically, just like native speakers do. The process may feel strange at first, but it's completely possible. You can start small. Think about simple things in English, like what you are doing. I'm brushing my teeth. It's a sunny day. I'm going to work. Over time, these small thoughts add up and train your mind to stay in English mode. Jack Ma often emphasizes that mindset determines success. Thinking in English is all about building the right mindset. When you switch your internal dialogue to English, you are telling your brain that this is not a foreign skill anymore, it's part of who you are. You begin to notice English words and phrases everywhere. You start connecting ideas, understanding context, and using expressions naturally. This immersion doesn't require you to live in an English-speaking country. It's something you can create anywhere just by surrounding yourself with the language and engaging with it mentally every day. One effective way to start thinking in English is through self-talk. Talk to yourself about your plans, feelings, or what you see around you. For example, while cooking, you might think, I need more salt, or while walking, that building looks beautiful. These simple sentences may seem small, but they rewire your brain to process thoughts in English. Another method is to describe your day or summarize something you watched or read in your head or out loud. Gradually, your brain will start to prefer English when thinking about certain things. Thinking in English also helps improve your pronunciation and grammar naturally. When you listen to English speakers and imitate their sentence structure in your thoughts, your speaking rhythm becomes more fluent. You start to develop a natural sense for which expressions sound right, even without memorizing grammar rules. The more you think in English, the more confident you become. You stop hesitating and start speaking more freely. English becomes not just something you study, but a part of how you view the world. This mindset speeds up your learning more than any textbook or course can. So, instead of thinking times about times English, start thinking times in times English. That's where real fluency begins. Using what you learn immediately is one of the smartest and fastest ways to master English. Many people spend months studying grammar, memorizing vocabulary, and watching tutorials, but they never put their knowledge into real use. As a result, they forget most of what they learn within days. The truth is, language is a skill, not just information. Just like learning to play an instrument or ride a bike, you can't become good at English by only reading or watching others. You have to use it actively. Every new word, phrase, or rule you learn should be applied as soon as possible. That's when real learning begins. When you use new knowledge immediately, it moves from short-term memory to long-term memory. Your brain remembers information better when it's connected to action or emotion. For example, if you learn the word opportunity and then use it in a sentence like, "This is a great opportunity to learn," you are much more likely to remember it than if you just read it from a list. Every time you apply something new, you strengthen your memory and build confidence. It's not about how many words you know. It's about how well you can use them in real situations. Jack Ma often says that knowledge without action is meaningless. The same idea applies to learning English. You can know thousands of grammar rules, but if you never use them in conversation, they won't help you communicate. Using English daily, even in small ways, helps you turn theory into skill. You can write short messages, comment on social media posts in English, or talk to yourself about your day. If you've learned a new word or expression, challenge yourself to use it in a sentence right away. You might not use it perfectly the first time, but that's how you improve. Each time you practice, you get better at expressing your thoughts naturally. Another great way to apply what you learn is through speaking and writing. After reading or watching something in English, summarize it in your own words. This forces you to recall vocabulary, structure your sentences, and think critically. You can also find a language partner or join online English communities where you can practice in real time. The key is to make English part of your daily communication instead of keeping it locked in your notebook. When you use English regularly, your confidence grows. You stop worrying about making mistakes and start focusing on expressing your ideas. The more you speak and write, the more comfortable you become. Over time, you'll notice that English words and sentences come to your mind naturally, without translation or hesitation. Learning a language is not about perfection, but about connection and practice. Every time you use what you learn, you are training your brain to think faster and communicate more clearly. So don't wait for the right time to use English. The right time is now. Speak it, write it, live it, and watch your fluency grow faster than you imagine. Learning English fast is not just about studying hard. It's about staying motivated and never giving up. Many people start learning with excitement, but after a few weeks or months, they lose interest because they don't see quick results. The truth is, language learning is a journey, sometimes slow, sometimes challenging, but always rewarding. The people who succeed are not necessarily the smartest or most talented. They are the ones who keep going even when it feels difficult. Motivation is the fuel that keeps you moving forward, and persistence is what turns your goals into reality. Jack Ma often says that success comes from patience and determination. He faced many failures in his life, but he never gave up. The same principle applies to learning English. You will make mistakes, forget words, and face moments of frustration, but that's all part of the process. The key is to remind yourself why you started. Maybe you want to travel the world, get a better job, study abroad, or simply communicate confidently with people from different countries. When you have a strong reason, it becomes easier to stay motivated even when progress feels slow. One of the best ways to stay motivated is to track your progress. Write down what you learn each day or record short videos of yourself speaking English. When you look back after a few weeks, you'll see how much you've improved. This progress, no matter how small, will inspire you to keep going. Remember that fluency doesn't come overnight. It's built step by step through daily practice, mistakes, and persistence. Every time you learn a new word, understand a sentence, or hold a short conversation, you are moving closer to your goal. It's also important to surround yourself with positive energy. Learn with people who support you and share the same goals. Join English-speaking communities, online groups, or classes where you can practice and exchange motivation with others. When you see others improving, it pushes you to keep learning too. Avoid comparing yourself negatively to others. Everyone learns at their own pace. Instead, focus on your personal growth and celebrate every small victory. Staying motivated also means making learning enjoyable. Don't treat English as a boring subject. Make it part of your lifestyle. Watch movies, listen to songs, read books, or play games in English. When you enjoy the process, it doesn't feel like studying. You learn naturally without pressure. Motivation grows when learning becomes something you look forward to each day. The most important thing is to never give up. Even if you feel stuck or make the same mistake many times, don't stop. Every successful English speaker went through the same challenges. Persistence always wins. English is not a test you pass. It's a skill you develop for life. If you stay consistent, stay positive, and believe in yourself, fluency will come. Keep your dream alive. Work on it every day. And remember, the only way to fail is to quit.